हो गया? हो गया? Good evening, everyone. I'm here to discuss the second section of Indian physiography, or you can say the physiography of India, a second topic. Study have discussed about the plane of India, the origination of plane, the characters and the uses of planes of India were the area of discussion. So today is the second section of physiography of India. I would like to discuss the mountain region of India, the northern mountain area. So you have heading here in front of you on the board. You can see northern mountains of India. So in this section again, we like to focus some of the contents area. The first I would like to go for the origination of northern mountain. Then we'll discuss about the major features of northern plain of India. And then we'll discuss about the major topographical area of plain of India. Right? So let's go for a major discussion of India. Mountain of India. You have some of the topographical features or the diagram showing about the plate tectonics and the theory related to origination, mainly prelim section. I will not like to go for the detail of origination of mountain. Rather, I would like to discuss about the basic characters, the basic theory which can explain the formation of mountain. So, for this section, I would like to go for the discussion related to the formation of mountain in brief. The first thing, the first theory for the origination of mountain, I would like to go discuss about, that is geosyncline theory. Geosyncline theory. So this theory was for the formation of mountain, and this theory believed between Angara land and Gondwana land there was a shallow sea or a small shallow area, later on filled by sediment and by compression force Himalaya originated. So this theory is also related to the compression and the formation in geosyncline area. The second theory or second concept given by Holmes or Arthur Holmes, you can say, and it was convectional current theory. Convectional current theory. So this theory explained the origination of convectional current and how that force responsible for the compression force or generating the compression force for the origination of mountain. Again, these things are not so useful for prelims. The third theory, that is a PT theory, or you can say before PT theory you can bring the concept of continental drift. Continental drift. So from this area, normally the question is coming for prelim section. You got that? So this section, I am telling you, you can see it is a beginning for the prelim section from beginner theory. According to beginner theory, India was a part of Gondwana land and later on began to move to northeastern direction, collided with Angara land, and in Tethys area there was origination of Himalaya. So here the direction is significant for you. The direction from African continental area to northeast was a drifting of continent. That's why there is a curve in Himalayan area. So this theory, geosyncline theory, then convectional current theory, then continental section, right? Mainly these things are asked in a mains examination. I would like to go for the description of that, about the description of northern mountain section. Normally this section is mainly asked in a prelim section and more significant for your examination. So let's begin the analysis of northern mountain or analysis of northern section of mountain. So anyway, if it is a question is asked in prelims about the formation of mountain, we can have we have a very clear idea about the four theories. The first was geosyncline theory, the beginning one. Then we have convectional current theory by Arthur Holmes. Third one is the continental drift theory by Wegener. And the last theory we have, that is PT theory by Morgan and Parker. It is written there. So now we go for the analysis of northern mountain. Better to go for the analysis of northern mountain area. Now see, this is a picture, this is an image showing you on the map area. This is not so clear showing your on your screen, or you may find very clear on your screen. It depends on your response. So you find here, it is an image of, or you can say map of northern mountain. I am going to elaborate this section now. Now try to see, whenever we see the printed map, then there is a lot more information there. Once we draw yourself, there will be less information and you will be able to recall all these things. So I am telling you here, suppose this one is a map of Kashmir area. Got that? So this area, and this is the northern section of India also. Then we can go for the detail of this area. Now I am giving you the image of northern mountain and for detailed study. Now see this area, you have this one as a mountain, Himalaya. In the north of that we have Ladakh, first Karakoram, then Ladakh, then Jaskar, three ranges are there. So northern area we have the first one, Karakoram. The second is Ladakh. Then you have Jaskar as a three parallel mountain range in the north of Himalaya. And these are named as Trans-Himalayan section. These are named as a Trans-Himalayan section. So beyond Himalaya in the northern section, it is named as Trans-Himalaya. Now come to the southern section, you have three parallel ranges. We can use these parallel ranges like this. We have one is a greater Himalaya, then you have middle Himalaya, then you have Shivalik, and all these ranges are named as Himalayan section. Himalayan section. So friends, we can analyze the northern mountain and we can classify them in two parts. The first is the Trans-Himalayan section and the second is Himalayan section. In Trans-Himalayan section you will find Karakoram, Ladakh and Jaskar, and in Himalayan section we have Greater Himalaya, Middle Himalaya and Shivalik, all the three ranges. Now if you have written all the detail, we can go for the second phase of discussion, or that. So from there we can analyze the things in a proper way. So right there, in Trans-Himalaya we have three ranges of northern mountain. Okay. So that is Karakoram, Ladakh and Jaskar. And in Himalayan section we have three mountains. These are Greater Himalaya, Middle Himalaya and Shivalik. See, this year there are two questions from this section in your PCC examination 2020. One question was about relation to Kashmir Valley and the second was Himachal Himalaya. Okay. So one was Himachal Himalaya and one was Himadri. Got that? So we have two things, Trans-Himalaya and Himalaya. हिंदी में भी क्लास चलेगा, हिंदी में भी तो क्लास होता ही है. Just try to understand in English medium also. Okay. आई एम टेलिंग यू कि पूरी हिमालय सेक्शन को, उत्तरी पर्वतीय क्षेत्र को दो भागों में बांटा गया है। उत्तरी सेक्शन को हम कहते हैं ट्रांस हिमालय, जिसमें काराकोरम, लद्दाख और जास्कर एरिया है, और उसके साउदर्न सेक्शन को हम हिमालय कहते हैं, जिसमें ग्रेटर हिमालय, महान हिमालय जिसको कहते हैं, मध्य हिमालय और शिवालिक एरिया है। सो दिस इज अ बेसिक क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ ट्रांस हिमालय एरिया and Himalayan section. Now come to the detail of this area. I would like to go for the detail of each area for information, because every information is significant for your examination. Go to this area, just to go for the Trans-Himalayan section. We are to finish the area of Trans-Himalaya. First Trans-Himalaya, then you have Himalayan section. Now try to see this area. You have Karakoram. Karakoram. Though it is a part of northern section, most of part is in the northeastern part of India, close to China. So here we have to find out some of the basic information related to basic thing about the location of Himalaya and their characters. See, many of us students are asking about the Hindi, Hindustani, these are things. See, in most area, whenever you think about the examination, passing out examination, we have two languages, Hindi and English. English give you upper hand somewhere, and if you know both languages, then it's good. Or that, being Indian, we know Hindi, okay, very good. But if you know both languages, one international language, one your mother tongue, then it's a bonus for you, right? So try to be with me in both languages, bilingual. I will use somewhere Hindi also, somewhere English also, right? So that we can have a better cohesion, better understanding about the concept. हम जगह जगह पे जहाँ ज़रूरत होगा हम हिंदी भी यूज़ कर लेंगे और इंग्लिश भी यूज़ कर लेंगे, so that it will be useful for both group of students, right? So this class is mainly meant for English medium, although we will use both language for understanding purpose. So go for Karakoram. This is Karakoram area, and this one is a northern area. So I am telling you, in a geological age, we have learned about the formation of Himalaya and their ranges. Here we'll find the ranges of Himalaya like this. You have Trans-Himalaya and Himalaya. So Himalaya originated from the northern section to southern section. The oldest section of Himalaya is in northern area and the new section is in southern area. So the oldest part of northern mountain is Karakoram, and the very new is Shivalik section. So once you are to arrange the geological origination of these range, then Karakoram is the oldest mountain among the northern mountain area, and the Shivalik is the new one in Himalayan section or northern mountain section. Got that? So right there, Karakoram mountain. Karakoram mountain is oldest mountain in northern mountain series. The highest peak of Karakoram is here. It is named as K2, and we name it as a Godwin Austen. The second name of K2 is Godwin Austen. Now see, sometimes we use K2 and we always remember which one is K1, right? So everywhere we find K2, we don't find K1. So here in the eastern part, when it was a survey of Karakoram mountain, the first peak was discovered. They find out the, not discovered you can say, they find out the first peak of Karakoram range, and it was Gashir Brahm. Gashir Brahm. So it is named as K1. Got that? You have two peaks of Karakoram. One is Gaserbam and second is Godwin Austen. So respectively these are known as K1 and K2. Right there K2 is the highest peak of India located in Karakoram. Now we have Karakoram Pass to connect India to China. So we connect India to China by using Karakoram Pass. It is the northern section. Now after that you have two major peaks here. One is Ladakh and one is Jaskar. These two parallel ranges are the part of Trans Himalaya. अगर देखेंगे हिमालय का ये दूसरा दोनों श्रेणी लद्दाख और जास्कर उत्तरी श्रेणी है और इस बीच से होकर सिंधु नदी प्रवाहित होती है. So it is a valley area of Indus. Indus flows between Ladakh and Jaskar. So this is basic information from the northern section area, and we will find the location of Siachen Glacier there also. Right that? So this is the northern area. Now I would like to go for a Greater Himalaya, Middle Himalaya and Sivalik in sequence. So go for Greater Himalaya, Middle Himalaya and Sivalik in sequence way. We can go for the analysis of a Greater Himalaya. So now I'm telling you the basic character of Greater Himalaya. This is a map showing a Greater Himalaya area. May be clear for your visibility. I'm telling you the section from here. See this area you have a Greater Himalaya from Jammu Kashmir to northeast section. So Greater Himalaya is known for some of the peaks, some of the passes and number of glaciers also. Now try to see this area. I am drawing this map for information area. See I have drawn a general map like this and I want to show the basic character of a Greater Himalaya. If you see this is the area of Greater Himalaya and in general sense what it was asked in your examination also, Mahan Himalaya is also named as Himadri. So in your examination this year, the examiner used Himadri for a Greater Himalaya. In the same way we use Himachal Himalaya for Middle Himalaya and Sivalik for Outer Himalaya. Got it? So see this area you have a Himadri, that is a northern section, and we can use for Greater Himalaya. Now see this mountain area has some information we can write in dots. We'll write all the detail in dots, all the valuable point about the Greater Himalaya or Himadri. So we'll write the average height of this mountain is 6,000 meters. Right? So the height of this mountain is 6,000 meters. Now how it is useful? Suppose the height of mountain is 6,000 meters. Then after 4,500 meters there is a snow line. इसको समझिए. 4,500 meters is named as snow line. It means anywhere on the earth's surface, if the height is more than 4,500 meters, so that area will have permanent ice cover, and that ice covered area will have number of glacier also. So this range or this limit of this range is very useful for number of glacier and permanent ice cover and also the source for Indian River. So Greater Himalaya is known for number of glacier and permanent ice cover area due to the height of this mountain or altitude of this mountain. You will find all the major peaks across the globe are found in this area. Major means the highest peak of the world. So try to locate this area, major peak here. See, this area you have Arunachal Pradesh and you have Namcha Barwa as a highest peak of Arunachal Pradesh in the eastern area. Now you have this area, you have Kanchenjunga, that is a part of Sikkim. Then you will find in Nepal here Annapurna, Makalu and Mount Everest. All the three highest high peak of Greater Himalaya is found in Nepal. Now you have this one, Uttarakhand. We have Nanda Devi, and in Kashmir you will find Nanga Parbat. Got that? So in the map, on the map you just put the numbers of peaks and you write in detail the streets and peaks of Himalaya. Right there, Middle Himalaya is known for highest peak. Okay. This is a batch for English medium student. You can join the Hindi medium. Okay. Okay, students, I am telling you about this series. See, this mountain area or the Greater Himalaya area has a number of peaks, and those are one of the highest peak of the world. So here, first draw the map, locate the peaks, then write the details of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and match the peaks with the states. So write there first one, Namcha Barwa. Namcha Barwa is a peak in Arunachal Pradesh. Arunachal, the eastern one. Then you write Kanchenjunga is the highest peak of Sikkim. Then you write three peaks of Nepal in sequence. The first one, Annapurna. Here you have Annapurna, then Makalu, then Mount Everest. Mount Everest is the highest one. The height is 8,848 kilometers. So you have three peaks of Himalaya, major peak of Himalaya in Nepal. Now you have the highest peak of Uttarakhand, that is Nanda Devi. And then you have the highest peak of Jammu Kashmir, that is Nanga Parbat. So in this way we can find the major peak of Himalaya in Greater Himalaya area. Now find out it is the highest area of Himalaya. Then this is also the joining point or linking point for India and China. So in this area you will find number of passes also. I think you may have drawn this area and noted the detail of the peaks here. Now we find out the passes of Greater Himalaya. The passes of Greater Himalaya will find some of the passes here. Some of the passes are here. Okay. Now see, some of the passes are of Greater Himalaya. You can draw this map again. So I have drawn the brief small map in the northern section, and you can locate here the passes of first the peaks I have given you. The second you write passes of Greater Himalaya. Here we'll find in Arunachal Pradesh you have Bomdila Pass. Bomdila Pass, that is a part of Arunachal. Now in Sikkim we'll find two different passes in the eastern area and western area. One is Nathula Pass, one is Zelepla Pass. Nathula in the western section, eastern section we have Zelepla Pass. Now if you come to the part of Uttarakhand after Nepal, you will find Niti Pass. This is Niti Pass. Then you come to the area of Himachal Pradesh, you have Sipkila Pass. Then in Jammu Kashmir you have Barjila Pass and Jojila Pass, those are the part of Greater Himalaya section. So here we can find out, we can match the state area and the major passes of Greater Himalaya. So right there, in Himalayan section, Greater Himalaya, we have number of passes to connect India to China. The location of these passes are, you write first one, in Arunachal Pradesh we have Bomdila Pass. It is connecting Himachal Pradesh to China. The second you write Jojila Pass in the eastern part of Sikkim, sorry not Jelepla Pass, eastern part of Sikkim connecting Sikkim to China. Now we have western part we have नाथुला पास, आप उसे पश्चिम की ओर लिखें तो नाथुला पास, विच कनेक्ट सिक्किम टू चाइना, सिक्किम और चाइना को कनेक्ट करता है. नाउ वी हैव नीति पास, आप इसे नीति पास लिखें, एंड नीति पास कनेक्ट उत्तराखंड टू चाइना. नेक्स्ट यू राइट सिपकिला पास, और ऐसे लिखें सिपकिला पास कनेक्ट चाइना टू हिमाचल प्रदेश. And the last you have two major passes of Jammu and Kashmir, and these passes are Barjila Pass and Jojila Pass. So these passes are connecting the internal part of Jammu and Kashmir from Kashmir to Ladakh area. So see, this area is very easy to remember. If you have a map, you arrange the passes on map, you can okay. Is it okay? Only for English medium. So we can understand both language, no problem. So whenever you use English, communicative English, every person understand. But only those students who have Hindi background, they hesitate to speak English. Otherwise, they understand English or that. So understanding these concepts is not a difficult thing, right? For Hindi or English medium student. Getting this one? So far I have elaborated the Greater Himalaya, and so far I have given information of mountain peaks and passes. हमने अभी तक आपको पर्वत की चोटी जितनी भी होती है उसको बताया है, और दर्रों को बताया है. दर्रों में बॉम्बडीला, जेलेपला, आफ्टर दैट हमने सिपकिला बताया, और नीति पास बताया, बर्जिला एंड जोजिला पास. So now see, हमने अभी आपको बताया the height of mountain is more than 6,000 meters. So once the height is more than 6,000 meters, there will be, the area will be above snow line. Above snow line means the height above 4,500 meters anywhere on the earth. Above 4,500 meters you will find permanent ice covered permafrost condition. So that area will have number of glacier and permanent ice covered condition. So that area will find number of glaciers are here in northeastern part of Jammu Kashmir. The first glacier is Baltaro Glacier, and the second one Siachen Glacier. So here we will write this one is Siachen Glacier and this one is Baltaro Glacier. So you remember, as a major glacier of India in northern section, the largest glacier is Siachen, followed by Baltaro Glacier. So students, this is all about the Greater Himalaya, or you can say in easy words, Himadri. Whenever we start geography, learning geography, we have confusion about the wording of geographical term. Suppose I use Sahyadri. So Sahyadri used for Western Ghat. The second is Himadri. It is used for Greater Himalaya. And the third, we use Himachal Himalaya. Himachal Himalaya. Himachal Himalaya is a part of Lesser Himalaya, or you can say Madhya Himalaya, Middle Himalaya. Got that? So far हमने आपको बताया है ग्रेटर हिमालय को. अब यहाँ से चाहेंगे कि इस एरिया को आगे मैं आपको मिडिल हिमालय बताऊं. So we are going to discuss about a middle Himalaya section and do focus on the a location area, because in every person knows a greater Himalaya very well, and whenever it comes to discuss about the middle Himalaya, we don't have a proper detailed information. So I would like to go for the detailed analysis of middle Himalaya. Give focus to the area I am giving you. Try to see this area. So this one is Jammu Kashmir. We have Himachal Pradesh. Then you have mountain area, and we are here to focus the area of middle Himalaya. So in middle Himalaya, it is a beginning. Here you will find a location of middle Himalaya. This area is named as Pir Panjal. So Pir Panjal is a part of Jammu Kashmir. Then you have here Himachal Pradesh. Here you will find Dhauladhar. Dhauladhar. Just to go to the eastern part of that, in Uttarakhand, you will find Nag Tibba. Nag Tibba. And in Nepal section, you will find Mahabharat range. So it is very sequence of that. Once you have to arrange the ranges of middle Himalaya from west to east. So the beginning it will be Pir Panjal. Then you will find, height we will discuss, no problem. Just first of all go for the physiological section. The arrangement of middle Himalaya from western to eastern area. You can give number 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are the section of middle Himalaya from west to east. Pir Panjal, Dhauladhar, Nag Tibba and Mahabharat range. ये चारों श्रेणी को आप पश्चिम से पूर्व की ओर अरेंज करें तो इस प्रकार होगा कि कश्मीर में हो जाएगा पीर पंजाल. देन इन हिमाचल प्रदेश यू हैव धौलाधर. इफ यू गो टू उत्तराखंड विल बी नाग टिब्बा and whole of the Nepal and the section of Darjeeling is a part of Mahabharat range. So these are in lines from west to east. First you arrange the ranges area. Now I am going for the analysis of this area of Pir Panjal and other parts. Trying to see this area, I am telling you. In this area you will find in the eastern section you will find one range that is a greater Himalaya, or we can say Himadri. So see this here, they asked you about the area of this location. They asked about Kashmir Valley. They asked about the detail of location of Kashmir Valley, and they asked which two mountain ranges are known for Kashmir Valley area. So Kashmir Valley area is located between Pir Panjal and a greater Himalaya. In question paper they used Himadri in place of greater Himalaya. That was confusion for students. Got that? So now Jammu Kashmir or Ladakh are the UTs area. So you can manage like this. So Kashmir Valley is located there between greater Himalaya and Pir Panjal. So here we will find this is the area of Jhelum river. You may have learned about Jhelum originates from Bir Nag, from Pir Panjal range, and flows in major part of Kashmir Valley. Now try to see what I am telling you. This part, major part I am telling you. Once this river is flowing in the center area, this area. So this river will bring the deposits of moraines or ice crystal. So deposit will be named as Karivas. Got that? Sometimes they ask you Karivas is a part of which river or where it is located. So Karivas is located in Jammu Kashmir Valley. It is a part of Jhelum river. And it is the moraines, you can say deposit of moraines, and it is very fertile area for Kashmir and famous for the production of saffron. Saffron you know very well. सेफ्रन केसर कह सकते हैं। जैसे कि ये करीवाज है, बहुत ही उपजाऊ होता है और इस क्षेत्र में सेफ्रन का प्रोडक्शन होता है, केसर का उत्पादन होता है। सो नो ऑल द डिटेल अबाउट करीवाज। फर्स्ट, कश्मीर वैली इज लोकेटेड बिटवीन पीर पंजाल एंड ग्रेटर हिमालय। दिस रिवर वैली हैज Jhelum river, and Jhelum river brings huge amount of deposit of ice, and this ice is responsible for, after melting of ice, this area become very fertile area. So this area is known for the production of kesar or saffron. So leave it Kashmir Valley area. Now come to the eastern area. I am again bringing the concept of snow line. Try to see this area. This is the height of Himalaya till 4500 meter. Getting this one? So the maximum height of middle Himalaya, not more than 4500 meter, but the height is close to 4500 meter. So in this condition there will not be a permanent ice cover, but the climate is very cool for survival of human being. Getting this one? Once the height is not more than 4500 meter, then there will not be ice cover, but the climate is very cool for tourism and the survival of human being. So you will find all the major hill stations of India are located on middle Himalaya area. From Jammu Kashmir to Darjeeling, you will find a number of hill stations are there. Try to locate these hill stations on the middle Himalaya area, I am telling you. So try to come this area and locate the major hill station. See here you have Kashmir Valley between Greater Himalaya and Pir Panjal. Now come to Dhauladhar range area and you have two major hill stations are there. Simla, Dalhousie, Khasiar all are located there as a part of Dhauladhar range. Now come to this area, Mahabharat range. It is a part of Nepal. This one, Nag Tibba is a part of Uttarakhand. There we will find Dehradun, other Doon valleys are there, Nainital are there. And finally we will find, go to the eastern part of India, you have Darjeeling in West Bengal. So this range of India is known for many of hill stations due to below 4500 meter height. So I hope you understand the significance of middle Himalaya. So far I have discussed about the ranges from west to east. The first Pir Panjal followed by Dhauladhar, Nag Tibba and Mahabharat range. Now second thing I have told you that this area known for the deposits of ice crystal and also the moraines. So that is very significant for the production of kesar. The area is named as the part of Kashmir area and the area is named as Kadevas. Now you have many of hill stations are there from west to east. This one is a Jammu Kashmir, Srinagar, Dalhousie, Simla. Then you have the hill stations of Nepal and finally you have Darjeeling in the eastern area. Now come to the second character of middle Himalaya. Go for the discussion of second character of Himalaya, middle Himalaya. Try to see the second character of middle Himalaya now. See, this is the area of greater Himalaya, middle Himalaya, and then you have the area of Sivalik. You can find out the cross section map like this. This one is a height one and this one is Sivalik has average height of 1800 meter. So there is a greater height of middle Himalaya, or you can say Himachal Himalaya, and the less height of Sivalik. In between you will find there are number of valleys. And these valleys are very useful area for India, for tourism also and for ecological aesthetic view also. Try to find out what I am telling you. So this one is middle Himalaya and this one is a section of Sivalik area. So suppose the river is flowing from the middle Himalaya area and coming to Sivalik area. So you will find the deposits of alluvial in the valley area, and due to deposition of sediment it become very fertile area. And this area is named as Doon Valley. Doon Valley, you know, Dehradun, Patli Doon, Kotli Doon, these are the dunes created by, see, some people believe that it is part of depression by tectonic force, and later on it is deposited by river. So this area is a very fertile area in the lower section and named as Doon Valley. So sometimes they ask you, Doon Valley are located between which two mountain? So actually Doon Valley is located between middle Himalaya and Sivalik. Got that? So Doon Valley, in between Doon Valley, whenever there is a stagnation of water, also named as a tal, like a Naini Tal, or different tals are there, Bhim Tal. So Uttarakhand you will find number of tals are there, lakes are there. Now try to imagine the area, whatever I have elaborated so far, how the Doon Valley originated and what's the significance of Doon Valley is, right? So first thing you know, Doon Valley is a depositional structure between greater middle Himalaya and Sivalik area. Between middle Himalaya and Sivalik, yes. So in this valley area, whenever there is a stagnation of water, it will be the formation of lake and it is named as a tal. Whenever there is a green ridge forest area, we say it's a Doon Valley. Got that? There's a famous tourist station of Uttarakhand. Now try to find out the outer area there. Suppose there is a middle Himalaya and there is a out gate for from Himalaya to outside. Suppose you are in Himalaya area, you are coming to the plain of India area, then you will find opening of mountain area to the plain area and it is named as Dwar. It is Dwar. So Dwar is Hindi word. द्वार गेट कह सकते हैं आप उसको नहीं, जैसे हमने पढ़ा है हरिद्वार, और इन नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया यू विल फाइंड अलीपुर द्वार. सो इट इज एंड ऑफ माउंटेन and beginning of plain, the area is named as Dwar, and between the mountain area and the western section, it is named as Doon. So got it? The difference between Doons and Dwar. It is located between middle Himalaya and Sivalik area. So students, I have elaborated the things related to prelims in middle Himalaya section. You remember all the section in series. The middle Himalaya section, the ranges, the utility of range as a hill station, then the formation of dunes and dwar, and how it is opening of mountain area to plain area. Got that? Now come to the southern section of that. In southern section you will find a Sivalik range. So Sivalik is a very new mountain. Sivalik mountain is a last range of Himalaya, as I told you in the beginning of season. So there are 6 ranges of northern mountain from north to south. One is Karakoram, then you have Ladakh, Jaskar, then you have Greater Himalaya, Middle Himalaya and Sivalik. So Karakoram is the oldest one, and the Sivalik is the most newest structure of, or the newest structure of a northern mountain section. Got that? So now try to understand the area of Sivalik. You will find the huge amount of erosion or landslide in Sivalik area because it's a new structure, a very new structure always. So now we can go for the analysis of this area from north to south section. So whenever we study Himalayan section, we have 2 approaches. One is latitudinal approach, one is longitudinal approach. Latitudinal approach means it is from north to south. Longitudinal approach means from west to east. Before going to west to east, I would like to go for some geological analysis of these ranges. Try to see this area. You have Karakoram, Ladakh, Jaskar, Greater Himalaya, Middle Himalaya, Sivalik. As you know, the oldest mountain here, this area, originated in Cretaceous period. Cretaceous period. So, among the mountain, you are to match the origination of age and their matching of ranges. So, Cretaceous period, Karakoram, C for Karakoram, C for Cretaceous, K for Karakoram, you can match. So, Karakoram, Ladakh in same age. Now you have greater Himalaya. Try to remember, I am giving you the geological age of these ranges. Himalaya originated in Cenozoic era, and there are periods of Cenozoic era, we can say in Eocene, Oligocene, Miocene and Pliocene. Just I am trying to go for detail. To give you the detail of that, try to see. See, this is Cenozoic era. Cenozoic era has 4 major periods, and we can say E, O, M, P. I have given the short form. E for Eocene, O for Oligocene, M for Miocene, and P for Pliocene. Don't be puzzled about listening these words. Just match this area. It will be your knowledge section. Try to see. Among the Himalayan range, we have Greater Himalaya originated during Eocene and Oligocene period. Middle Himalaya originated in Miocene period, and Shivalik originated in Pliocene period. So if you arrange the ranges of Himalaya and the periods of Cenozoic era, you can match in a very easy way Eocene and Oligocene for Greater Himalaya, Miocene M for Middle Himalaya, and Shivalik originated in Pliocene period. So normally this type of matching is asked in a prelim section, you always remember, and a northern section Trans-Himalaya originated during a Cretaceous period. So this year also there was a question, which one is the oldest or which one is a new one, like they have given you the ranges like Aravalli and Himadri ranges. Got that? So origination is okay, right? So far I have elaborated the area of Himalaya from north to south. Now I would like to go for the analysis of west to eastern area. From western part to eastern part, I am coming to this map. We can use this map for this purpose. You can use blue color for. See, this is the area we can demarcate the section of Himalaya from west to east. The first area, the second areas, then third one, fourth one. So see, this area is named as Kashmir Himalaya, or you can say the area of a western Himalayan section. Then you have Kumayu Himalaya, the part of Gadwal. Then you have Nepal Himalaya, the part of middle section. And then you have Assam Himalaya. So in new book of NCERT, they have used this approach, longitudinal approach, and they classify Himalaya from west to east. Got it? From west to east means from this section, Kashmir section to Assam section. So you find the first section of Himalaya, that is Kashmir Himalaya, and the demarcation of this western section is done by the rivers of India. Rivers of India, the northern rivers of India. So for this section you remember only the name of river for demarcation purpose. I am bringing this area here. So see, this area you have Kashmir, Nepal, you have Assam area. Now we are going to bifurcate the area by using the course of river. So this area you have Satluj river, then you have Sindhu river, Kali river, Tista river, and Dihang river. I have drawn in a way you can remember. This one is Indus, this one is Satluj, this one is Kali, this one is Tista, and this one is Dihang. मैं फिर से बोल देता हूं आपको, अगर इन नदियों को देखें तो सबसे पश्चिम में इंडस नदी है, उसके बाद सतलज है, सतलज के बाद काली नदी है, देन वी हैव तिस्ता और लास्ट में दिहांग नदी है. दिहांग ब्रह्मपुत्र को कहते हैं, दिहांग और दिबांग. दिहांग ब्रह्मपुत्र का नाम है अरुणाचल प्रदेश में, दिबांग उसकी सहायक नदी है. सो लाइक दिस. So now you find out Western Himalaya. You can write the section of Western Himalaya or Kashmir Himalaya. Right, Kashmir Himalaya is located between Satluj and Indus River. The first Himalaya, that is Kashmir Himalaya, located between Satluj and Indus River. Then second Himalaya you write Kumayu Himalaya, or you can say Gadhwal Himalaya, is located between Satluj and Kali River. So this is the area Satluj and Kali River, and we have Gadhwal Himalaya or Uttarakhand Himalaya. Then we have Nepal Himalaya, this one. Nepal Himalaya is located between this river, Kali River, and Tista River is a part of Sikkim there. Then last you write Assam Himalaya. Assam Himalaya is located between Tista and Dihang River. So this is horizontal, or you can say longitudinal division of Himalaya, and from there they can ask you the question related to that. So see this area, western area, we have the location of Kashmir Himalaya, and there we'll find Kashmir Valley, Kari Walls, and the number of things. So this was a division only, right? Now if you think about the minerals area, so we have a separate topic for this area, minerals location. Although in Kashmir you will find the thick deposit of tertiary coal deposits, limestone deposits, and some area has also the deposits of old rock of igneous and metamorphism of igneous also. Got that? Now I'm telling you about the areas. So this area is a source of water, source of a forest, source of medicinal values, herbs. Got that? So as we go to the different topics, we'll study there. Got that? Here I'm telling you one area, that is area beyond 4500 meters. So this area will find the location of Bugyal. Bugyal means if you see the location beyond close to 4500 meters, that area will find ice cover during winter and melting of ice during summer. So that area has very good cover of meadows or a grassland and a small tree during winter in summer season. So this area will find the number of shepherd communities are living in Bugyal, and they practice transhumance. Transhumance means they move from mountain area to plain area, and from plain area to mountain area during summer and winter. They leave the mountain area during winter, and they go back to mountain area during summer. Now I'm telling you a basic difference or basic terms for that. One term is nomadic, and one term is transhumance. Transhumance. अगर मैं हिंदी कर दूं तो ज़्यादा बेहतर होगा इसको. अगर मैं कहूं कि ऋतु प्रवास ट्रांसह्यूमेंस हुआ और नॉमेडिक पशुचारण हुआ, पशुपालन नहीं, पशुचारण. So one tribal community move from one place to other place in search of grazing land, in search of fertile land, or for their cattle, then it is named as nomadic. So it is a horizontal movement. Once the tribal community move ups and down in a vertical condition due to temperature change, it is named as transhumance or Ritu Pravas. Got that? So Himalayan communities are the example of transhumance communities, and whenever you find the plain area, people move from one place to other place, those communities are the example of nomadic life, or you can say Pashu Charan, right? So it's very clear about the location of Himalaya. Okay. Now we can move to other area. So you have the pictures, I have not shown there. This one is Karakoram, Pir Panjal, Jaskar, and this one is Sivalik range. I got that. Middle Himalaya, okay. Now come to this section, the particular section of northeast, or you can say Purvanchal, or you can say northeast. I would like to focus this area, northeast area, for discussion, northeast Himalaya or Purvanchal Himalaya. So in this area I am drawing this map here. You have the map of this area. It is the map of northeastern India. 8 states including Sikkim, the part of northeast. We are trying to analyze the ranges of northeast or the hills of northeast for prelims purpose, right? So go for drawing the area first, label the area, right, red is okay. Now you will find in Arunachal Pradesh, there are different ranges of Himalaya. The small hills of Himalaya, and you remember there, one is Dafla, one is Misme, one is Abhor, and one is Patkoi. Patkoi. See, in the series it is flowing clockwise. In Arunachal Pradesh we will find Dafla, Mismi, Abhor and Patkoi. Now 3 ranges, particularly in Arunachal Pradesh. Patkoi is a transition area. Patkoi is half in Nagaland and half in Arunachal Pradesh. So it is a boundary between Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland. So it is a part of northeastern hill. Now come to this area, you have Naga Hill, Manipur Hill and Mizo Hill. So these are the separate small hill named after the tribal community there, or you can say the tribal communities are named after mountain, both in the same one. So इस एरिया में देखेंगे कि पहाड़ियों का नाम जनजातियों के नाम से मैच करता है. So अब देखेंगे मणिपुर हिल, नागा हिल, मिजो हिल are the part of northeastern section. Got it? Now come to this area, western area, you will find this type of hills or this type of plateaus there in the center part of that area, and you can say the state is Meghalaya there. So in Meghalaya we will find there are hills Garo, Khasi and Jaintia. These are the 3 hills, and these are not the part of Himalaya. All the other hills are the part of Himalaya. These are the part of Deccan plateaus. So there was a drifting of the area, shifting of this area from plateau of India to the northeastern section. So these are the part of Deccan plateaus, Garo, Khasi and Jaintia. Khasi hill is the center part of that, and this area is known for Shillong hill, or you can say Shillong plateaus also. And after that you will find one major place, that is Cherrapunji there. I would like to focus this area basically for Cherrapunji. I am telling you one basic area here. I have drawn this map. If you see the location here, in this is a particular location, Garo, Khasi, Jaintia, and this area is of Bangladesh. So whenever you go Cherrapunji in a Khasi hill area, and you see from Cherrapunji, the bottom of that area, you will find the location of Bangladesh. It will just look like a oceanic area. There is a very level surface, and the location of Khase Hill is just like a rooftop. So the wind is rising all of a sudden around 4,000 feet above. Please confirm the area of Mary Hill. Okay, the same area will find. Here location is there. I'm just finishing the area of Shillong Hill, then I will come to that area. See, Shillong Hill is just like a rooftop. Suppose the wind is coming from 4,000 feet from oceanic area, bottom area. So we'll find the sudden rise will create cloud, and this area have a frequent formation of cloud and regular rainfall. So Shillong receive maximum rainfall, Cherrapunji receive maximum rainfall, Masinaram is a local area there for high rainfall area. So this is a centered area, will have maximum rainfall area. Got that? Now see, this is a location of northeastern section of Himalaya, northeastern Himalaya, and this area is noted for both Old Hill area and the hill of Cenozoic era. Old Hill means the hill of Deccan Plateaus of India. Got that? So I hope the area is clear for. See, all the ranges are here very clearly mentioned here. Everywhere you will find the Dafla, Bomdila, Naga Hill, Mizo Hill, Patkoi Hill, Dafla area. All are here as a location of. One hill will find NC Hill, right? NC Hill is a North Kachar Hill. You may have seen, but I have not shown any of hills in Assam. In Assam you will find NC Hill, that is North Kachar Hill. One also hill will find Mikir Hill, that's a part of Meghalaya. So it is all about students about related to the northern mountain. It's a big area for discussion. I have completed the two major sections of a northern mountain area and northern plain area. Got that? So leave this area. For prelims purpose, write every information, and if you do this area, I will be able to will be in comfort zone to solve all the questions. अगर आपने इन चीज़ों को कर लिया है तो मेरा विश्वास है कि इससे रिलेटेड जो भी क्वेश्चन आता है आप कर पाएंगे, बशर्ते इसके बाद आपने सारे टॉपिक्स को किया हो. So it is one topic only, right? It is one topic, and basically it is a physical analysis of India. Okay? So now we are going to the other region. Don't stop here. We can go for next region of India. Today I would like to create a foundation for that, and tomorrow I will go for the detail of that. That is peninsular India or peninsular plateaus. So go for peninsular plateaus as a location. It is a plain of India I have finished yesterday. Then you have coastal plain is here, forget about. This one is peninsular plateaus. The map is with you, but I would like to go for freehand map to discuss about the areas. So I would like to keep this plain area so that I can draw a freehand map. Okay. Now try to draw this map with me. So this area, I am drawing this map for you. This is the area. This is Aravalli. This one is a plateau area of northeastern area, and this one is Kanyakumari area, right? So if you join together this area, it will be named as peninsular plateaus. Peninsular plateaus. So peninsular plateau is a triangular area, or it is also named as inverted triangle. Try to see, I am telling you why. If you see, this is a triangle, but in actual sense it is inverted triangle. Inverted triangle means normally triangle has a base and then peak, like this, peaks area. अगर कोई त्रिभुज को देखे तो उसका बेस होता है और ऊपर टॉप होता है. यहाँ पे क्या है, ऊपर टॉप है और नीचे बेस है, इसलिए हम इसे कहते हैं इन्वर्टेड, प्रतिदर्श त्रिभुज कह सकते हैं, या हम कह सकते हैं इन्वर्टेड ट्रायंगल. So the base is from Aravalli area to Shillong plateaus, and the peak is here near Kanyakumari. So right there the basic information about peninsular plateaus. You write peninsular plateaus has a base area in north from Aravalli to Shillong plateaus, and the peak is near Kanyakumari in the southern area. So it is named as inverted triangle, or you can say Pratidarsh Tribhuj कहलाता है. Got that? Very clear. You have the location area. Now we can go for the detail of discussion about the peninsular plateaus. I like to divide the area first, then go for the detail of that. First go for the division point. Try to say this area. Okay, this is plateaus area, and I would like to go for the detail of that. So this area will find the first thing here. You can make it a black color so that it will be the actual color of this area. It is this area. Then you have this region. This area is named as Deccan Trap. Deccan Trap. Deccan Trap, you may have heard about a Deccan Trap. So during Cretaceous period there was a volcanic eruption in central India, and by fissure eruption, by cracks eruption, there was a deposition of sediment, or you can say the deposition of basalt, a volcanic sediment you can say, or basalt in central part of India has created this structure named as Deccan Trap. Suppose you assume my concept like this. If you are sitting in one of the floor area and the eruption takes place, that on the floor you will find the stagnation of or deposition of basalt, and that is named as Deccan Trap. Now know the meaning of trap. Suppose there is a layer of magma. Try to listen. Trap means stairs or layers of magma. So you will find the eruption takes place with interval. Not frequent eruption, but interval takes place with interval with some duration. That's why you find the layers of magma from west to east. Suppose you are moving from west to east, so this type of layers will find the maximum height on the western section and the minimum height in the eastern section. So देखेंगे कि पश्चिम में इसकी हाइट ज़्यादा होगी और पूरब में हाइट कम होगी. So western area you have the maximum height, and eastern area will have less height. So that is why the layers structure is named as trap. So in central India you will find there is a formation of Deccan Trap. It is a basalt deposit. Now you find out in a trap area there is a deposition of basalt. Once there is deposition of basalt, so basalt contain huge amount of iron and magnesium. So in this condition the color of the surface you will find is black in color, and this area nowadays has black soil is a result of disintegration of this basalt or Deccan trap. आप कह सकते हैं कि इस डक्कन ट्रैप के टूटने के कारण जिस मिट्टी का विकास हुआ वो मिट्टी आज के दिन में काली मिट्टी है, जिसे दक्षिण भारत में हम रेगुर कहते हैं. राइट? सो रेगुर इज व्हाट? रेगुर इज अ ब्लैक सॉइल और रेगुर इज अ सॉइल इन रेगुर इज अ सॉइल इन the name in South India given for black soil. So I hope you have deep understanding of Deccan trap. Now try to know the Deccan trap area. The first word I have used, that there was a fissure eruption in central India. Fissure means crack eruption in central India. Then it was deposition of basalt in central India in layer. As it is in layers, so named as a trap, Deccan trap. The height is from Maharashtra to Andhra Pradesh in a stairs way, or the height is decreasing from Maharashtra to Andhra Pradesh, so it is named as trap. What's the new present condition? At present, it is named as the area of black soil or regur soil in India. So I think the first thing is clear. In central part of India, that is Deccan trap. Okay. Now leave this area, or we can move to the other section. I'm making the elaboration of this area again. Go for. So today I would like to go for classification only of other area. Then the detailed study I will start tomorrow, or you can say tomorrow will be the detailed study area. Okay. Finally, for the end of this day, I will like to classify the peninsular plateaus in three parts, so that you can have the depth of understanding later on next session. So I am giving you the area first. This is the area known as Deccan trap. I have discussed just present area time. Now this area has a number of old plateaus area dissected by number of rivers or divided by number of rivers. Okay, so this area will find one is Malwa plateaus, one is Bundelkhand, then you have Baghelkhand, then Chota Nagpur plateaus. So these are named as Central Highland. Central Highland. Got that? So in north of Vindhyachal, you find a series of small plateaus dissected by number of rivers are the part of Central Highland, and you have the name of Central Highland, that is Malwa plateaus, Bundelkhand, Baghelkhand and Chota Nagpur plateaus. This is a part of second part of peninsular plateaus. So the peninsular plateaus has a limit on the western side, that is Aravalli mountain, and the eastern side you have Meghalaya plateaus, and in southern section we have Eastern Ghat, Western Ghat, and the last limit is Kanyakumari there. Now come to this area, we have Western Ghat and Eastern Ghat. These are the small hill or the mountain complex of South India. We'll go for the detail later on tomorrow about the southern peninsular section. Got that? So here we'll find the origination of original land of India. See, just I'm giving you the brief discussion about. Suppose we see the oldest part of India originated with the origination of Gondwana land, that is this one, Deccan plateaus. Deccan Plateaus. So Deccan Plateau is the original surface on which Deccan Trap originated. So this trap or volcanic eruption takes place on the oldest surface area on Deccan Plateaus area. And in this area, the northern section, this is the section by metamorphism of old rock. It is a part of granite, gneiss schist, metamorphosis of old rock. Got that? So tomorrow I would like to go for this section particularly, a South Indian section, that is Deccan Plateaus and Central Highland, and then remaining part of geomorphology of or topography of southern plateaus. So hope the session will help you to solve the question related to a prelim section at any level, whether it's a UPSC examination or UPPCS examination, or you are preparing for other examination also. It's a final document for you. If you have written with care, you understand the concept, then it will be easy time for prelims examination time for that. So if you have any of problem, you are facing any problem to understand the concept, I would like to see your feedback, see your, not feedback you can say, your understanding about the concept, right? So I hope the session will give you more comfort at the time of examination, at prelims examination, and the session I would like to continue to go for explanation of these things in coming days also. See, in daily class, first half I elaborate the section of world geography, and today I discuss about the Southeast Asian section, all the countries of Southeast Asia and some part of Japan also. Tomorrow will be the session for you for world geography section, that will be the section of China, part of Korea, Taiwan, and later on I would like to move to CIS or Rus, old Rus you can say, nowadays CIS, earlier used to be USSR, Union Soviet Socialist Republic, now it is part of, renamed as a CIS in 1991. Got that? So tomorrow's session, it will be the area of China and USSR, you can say CIS. Then we'll move to America and other section later on. And in India, I will like to go for Southern Plateaus, Island and Desert of India. So I'm leaving this session today. I will meet you, all of you, tomorrow at a right time, at 3 o'clock. I hope the session will be good for you and me also. Whenever you I explain these things, I feel privileged to tell you the detail of geographical explanation. Thank you, all of you. Thank you again. क्या हुआ?